You're alive, everybody. Red Dog's in the house. Okay. This is what you get. What you get when you go live. Red Dog was coming. Elliot Moose brother just walked in. Oh my Lord.
A little bit late because, I had a bad day today. I'm sick all day, and I guess I feel better now. Families back together.
Oh, this is awesome.
Running Dozers Corner.
Yes.
Number 2.
Yeah, Dozers Corner. We're with Dozer up here tonight. Hey everyone, I want to just say welcome. We're a little bit late tonight. Actually, I should have a camera over here. We're a little bit late tonight. We're a little bit of audio difficulty times. It's just all part of the thing. It's all, but we did make it, Dominic, to not the Baker's dozen. We got close, but it's actually we got close. We're at episode number 12. We're actually really honored that we've had all of our episodes, pretty much most of our episodes actually. I think channel 11 is the one at the Bonway Auction. The other 11 have been here.
That's number 1.
Yes.
So we're really at Baker's dozen.
Yes, we're at Baker's dozen. You're correct.
Yeah. So
Baker's dozen was in Winnipeg, right?
Yeah, Winnipeg is what got us to start doing this, right? We had that panel, we had Dozer on there, right? He's the one really on there.
Yeah, that's right.
But then we also had Art on there, we had Doug Forrest was on there, we had Alex Van Hurt, we had the McDavid brothers, Red Dog and Moose were on there.
Yeah.
We had David Adams on there, Conrad.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
what really the internet, and that's what we lost our.
And you know what? What's interesting is now that they're both here in the house, is the last time I was in a place that I'm sure most of the brothers was in Winnipeg. Yeah, so it's Winnipeg. So we're gonna probably get them all out here. Everything in here. I know I gotta look at the camera, man. Anyways, before we get going here tonight, because we got a really good crowd tonight, I actually am very honored that we actually could do what we're doing right now to get the message out there, and we're going to talk about some really good things here tonight.
Well, we're probably, we might see things where Facebook might start censoring because they don't want the truth out.
Yeah.
So we will be posting this on Rumble pages. We're going to go and start posting on our website.
Yeah.
So we really got to start being funny about how to get our message out. We're actually looking at a lot of alternative media where we're going to actually do a library of all these different media stuff. Like we're going to have all the ones that are being censored right now will be on one platform, which will be absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And I know you've been on the road. You just came back. We've all been on the road. We had actually a crew of us. There was a crew of us that actually went down to Victoria a couple weekends ago and whatnot. So there's a lot of us that are spending a lot of time on the road doing what we need to do, right? And this is just part of getting the truth out there. And I was able to do a lot of interviews. We're going to have David Lowe coming up here too, because I really want to stress how important it is for people in Prince George to get out there and vote. This Saturday on the 17th, there's a school district by-election. David Lowe is in the house. We're going to get him up here really shortly, and we're gonna ask David all the questions and why he's actually running, why he's throwing his hat in the ring and stuff like that. So I'm excited to bring David up here. The other thing I wanted to say, John, was I think a lot of people overlook the importance of what we have. Honestly, like I am honored to be working with a lot of the people and the leadership that we have in Prince George. You know, we have meetings on a regular basis. A lot of people don't see this kind of stuff. And, you know, they see us, they see us on PG Real News, and then they might see me doing an interview, and then they might see me doing an interview with Aaron Gunn, who's had 1.2 million views on Canada is Dying, and now YouTube has censored him, right? So we're doing a lot of things in the background. And I just wanted to actually say a big thank you to our team and the leadership that we have in Prince George. We're the center of British Columbia, and when we're doing things, the north, the center of BC is put on the map. We have phenomenal leadership. I can name them all. A lot of them are here in the room, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm honored to be working beside people like Dom and our entire team. They do so much. They do so much work. And come up if you ever want to know the people that are on our team. A lot of them are on the women's panel. But anyways, Red Dog McDavid is a guy. Anyways, I just want to say that it's an honor to be working with leadership.
Yeah, well, we have some really good people. It's from all different levels. We've got veterans working with us. We've got, high quality nurses and doctors and business owners, people that have actually donated their land to our gardens and stuff, like their cabinet program. We're looking at doing independent schooling. We've got people working on that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different facets of this business, right? And the thing is, it's all about our future. It's about our community. It's about our future generations, right? And that's the thing that we have. It's like with our school district, school district 7 or violences, right? This would probably be a good opportunity to bring David up here to talk.
Absolutely. And you know what? Before we get David up here, what I want to say to you, Don, is what I've extended out there, and I'm actually going to extend my, my time basically. That if there's anybody out there that's watching tonight and you can't get a ride, the vehicle breaks down or something happens, get a hold of any one of us, because honestly, this is probably one of the most important by-elections in Prince George. We need to get people out to. That's right. Josh Stillman's in the house tonight, and I know that Josh has done a lot of great work here. Get out there and vote. Honestly, do your democracy and get out there. Vote for our get out there.
The thing is, think about is our children's futures and our children's lives and what's happening. Like, we're going to talk about it with David, but the thing is, keep on talking about safety for students and safety for teachers. And I'm trying to figure out when it was unsafe to be in a school. When I went to school, right, it was a safe place. Like, what created this whole not being safe? Maybe that'll be one thing that maybe David will have a little light on why do people want talking about safety? Because I'm telling you right now, if we're worried about safety, maybe we should be sending our children to school. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, so maybe we need to have parents that are actually at the school all the time. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, that was a great idea.
If there's going to be safety, well, let's have the parents there that are protecting our children. Some of us actually have the time.
Yeah, because they're creating that problem. Right?
Yeah.
They're saying that's unsafe.
Well, exactly. One thing I never thought that it wasn't safe until we realized that what is the safety issue that we're dealing with? Are we dealing with safety with gender? Are we dealing with safety with education? Are we dealing with safety with violence? Like, what's the safety? They wouldn't answer that question.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we didn't get to ask the question.
We didn't. No, we didn't. Okay. Anyways, without further ado, what we're going to do right now is we're going to invite up David Lowe. Everyone, give me a hand up for David Lowe. Oh, David. Grab yourself a mic right here. All right. You know what, David? You hit the nail on the head tonight, because we are episode number 12. 12. Anyways, we're honored to have you here. You know, I know Dominic and I were at the panel, up there. Was that early in the week or was that actually last?
Last
Was
Thursday.
that last Thursday?
Yeah.
There's so much that goes on, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff does happen and stuff. We're honored that you're here tonight, and we're going to take some time and
Absolutely.
ask.
And Dave is actually, Dave is actually nice meeting right? When I first came to Prince George, I went and was working with City Furniture, and his son, right, married the owner of City Furniture, his daughter, Sangeeta, and I've known David and Dorothy and their whole clan of the D's, right?
Yeah.
Because we got David and Dorothy and Darren is there, and Elias and Dorian and I always forget your daughter. Indiana. Yeah, so it's all about the D's, right? Yeah. And the thing is they've always been a loving family. Like if you met every single one of them, like here, right? If you met everybody in their family, it's absolutely incredible how much love and care and the grandchildren she's got. You must have a baby with grandchildren, don't you? Yes. 10. Okay.
10? Or just 10?
Yeah. But
Busy household.
But the thing is the name's always been in Prince George. He's got the only housing company in Prince George. A lot of people, like he's helped a lot of people out. Very religious family. They were all, the one word that your son taught me is Hookidina. Instead of swearing, he's Hookidina. Right? And so that's how Christians swear. It's Hookidina.
I'll try to remember that, but it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Hey, tell us, David, like, I said this to John Rustad. I said, here are you, you're at this time point in your life. And I said, to John, I asked him this. Why would you be at this point in your life now, and all of a sudden now you're going to throw your hat in? What makes David Lowe at this point of your life right now? Because you could probably retire right now and carry on with life and what makes David Lowe a great candidate for school district 57? So, like the cameras there, why should people want to, let the people over there know what is all about David Lowe?
Well, okay, and I didn't want to do no school or because that sounds like a pain to me. But so they said, well, and you are very qualified for that. There's such a disarray on the school board trustees that I think you'd be perfect for it. So,
yeah, that's okay. That's right.
Conflict resolution, dealing with people, awkward people who were maybe more feisty or whatever, or opinionated about things. You know how to deal with that. And then you were a teacher in the public school as well as the private school. Yeah. When I started with a couple of private schools, actually, we did. Wow. People and they were very successful. So I appreciated the freedom and the working with parents. You see, so that's one of our issues, working with parents, even though there's maybe an act that says, the schools are going to do what they want when they want. I think the school board can limit that. And we can inform teachers that if you're not going to have too much conflict between parents and teachers, that maybe we should tell the parents what's coming on, what's going on, what classes, so let what classes happening so they can withdraw their students. They can go to the library, there's a learning place, and they could miss that class. So what's wrong with that? That would satisfy a lot of parents who have the public school. So there's these issues that keep coming up after I said that, and there's many more issues too. I just felt like my business was winding down, and I might be tired next year. So what am I going to do with myself when I'm like this? I'm going to pull it up the school board, and it seems like it's more important right now than it is to be on the council of the city council. Yeah, it seems to be more important because the issues are more life and death, or that might be an extreme statement, but certainly with our kids.
Well, it's our future generations, right? Yeah, so our future generations are the thing that we should be working for and excelling them to be the best they can be.
It seems like our district and our province has majored on child abuse in the school system and centralizing all our kids. But it's forgotten the real education. So the first version of the school has been in the bottom of the list academically for 3 years in a row.
Yeah, Brown Bread Elementary.
Brown Bread Elementary.
Look at the stats. It's run out of 3 years in a row.
870 out of 870.
Yeah.
Yeah, 870 out of 870 elementary schools. Right? And why is that? And if you actually take a look at the public schools as well, like you look at the public schools, a lot of our public elementary schools rate in the bottom of 200. Quite a few are in the bottom of 200.
Yeah.
We have 25% of our schools in Prince George in the bottom 25% range of the entire province. And I don't think we fight over Soji, but we don't educate them. You know, educated, what's that? I'm not educated. One other thing, as to why I'm right there, there's issues, but here's one that nobody else is even thought of, because I'm a credit counselor. I believe in eliminating debt. I think debt is evil. And I'm fighting people coming into my office to consolidate the debt. And they say, oh, we've never been told about this money, David. We've never been told how to use our money. And I said, well, why not? Well, the schools never told us. I said, why not? Because at one of my grandkids' graduation, and you went out, you graduated, now you're on the real life. I said, no, you're not. You can't, it's your checkbook. You're going to what I'm talking about. So I'm going to.
Do you think the kids now, do you think that they're ready, like when they graduate? Do you think most of these kids are at that point where they can actually leave that nest and we should be in that home for 10 years?
The majority of them are clueless. Let's say they live in an entrepreneurial home. They really don't know what to do. You know, every day we use money, or we abuse money, or we consume money. You turn on a light bulb, you're consuming money. Okay? Like, do we talk about money in school? No, we wouldn't want to talk about money. We'll talk about sex and each other. We won't talk about what makes you successful in life. And gives you the value that you can do freedom, financial freedom. So I'm going to propose that we introduce grade 10, 11, 12, and if there's nobody around to teach it, I'll go back and I'll teach it. Financial management, financial prosperity, financial literacy, okay? And for all those that qualify as they make families that make less than $50,000 a year. I found there are grants that you can send your child to post-secondary school and not pay anything for the first year. And the school boards won't let it get talked about. Won't promote that to the parents of the social economic lore of our society. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know that there's opportunities. And so we need to give people respect, and we need to give people a hope. And give families a hope, your children a hope, that after high school, what am I going to do? Well, I've got this money set aside, and it's hard, and you just go take a trade. Take a trade for a year, even. That's what we paid for. The parents just have to apply for it.
We had, when we were listening to you guys up on the panel there, I noticed that there was about 6 of the the trustees that were vying for positions. There was only 6 of them, and they just kind of seemed that they were talking about the exact same things over and over. How are we gonna retain some of our teachers, retention, how do we treat them? And it just seemed like all the other ones there, and it's not negative, but I heard the exact same story over and over. With a lot of people that don't even want to even enter this.
Let's talk about that for a second. I know everybody wants everybody to like what they say the same thing. But you can only vote for 2 people. And so you got to have the 2 people that you vote for going to stand out. So what we really need is a better hiring system. We need to promote in our high schools. I have a plan to promote and to reward people in our high schools if they stay in our district, they go to our educational system to become teachers. And EAs, my own daughter-in-law, went to the school board and said, I want to become an educational assistant. They said, can you start on Monday? She said, no, I want to be trained. And they said, they'll hire you on Monday. So if you need a job and you like kids, go, and that's what you gotta do. So she started a 10-month course on the internet.
Yeah.
So she really knows what she's doing before she'll allow herself to be hired. She's got just a job just like that. So we need to promote the opportunities of the kids that we got in the school.
Right.
They're our captive audience.
Yeah.
Let's promote them. Let's reward them for staying in our district. Let's reward them. You go down to Vancouver, hire somebody. 2 years they're here. They're gone.
Yeah.
So we need to promote our own kids, our own people, and so I'm going to promote a new hiring model to retain our own kids and to fill up our needs.
Yeah, because it's not that, we live up in the north, and sometimes it's, I look at some of the hockey teams, a lot of the times the kids, it's you have to almost lure them to come and play hockey up in northern part of British Columbia. And I think it's almost the same thing when you're trying to recruit somebody in an industry and coming to work. And I think you're right. I think actually just looking at it from a different model and inviting the teachers and recruiting them. Other communities do it very well. And I think you're actually on a really good, you have a really good topic there that I would like to see. I'd like to see you implement that there too.
Well, I've talked to some teachers, and that seems to be top of mind for them. We don't have enough help. And there seems to be more and more children in our schools that have dyslexia or learning disabilities, and we haven't got the help. A teacher, 2 issues are raised. Number one, what do? We got a lot of students that are what we call gifted students. Gifted academically, gifted artistically. And because we are a socialistic province, we want to treat everybody on the same level. So we keep them all in the same classroom. So what we need to do is those that are gifted musically, we need to send them to certain schools that have band and choir so they can go there. People who are in scholastics, who are in music programs, do better in school, and they do not get into trouble in school. You put a bright, intelligent, gifted person in a classroom, they're going to cause you trouble in a regular classroom. The teacher says, let's move them out to a special school. We can have a special school in here. So that releases the teacher to teach to the other kids without these bright kids getting in trouble all the time.
Those are very good points. I find that the province of British Columbia, I don't know if other provinces in Canada is like that, but every industry seems to be broken. And you've got David Eby, who is an appointed premier of British Columbia. We're not going to go with Adrian Dix right now because he's another bad apple. But I just find that the forestry industry has been upside down. Right? The medical system, the train, let's be honest, the train has gone off the track, let's be honest, right? Here we are with the school system. Prince George, we've got, like you just said, the stats on the schools in Prince George we're on the bottom end of 25% on the bottom end. Every industry I'm finding in British Columbia is broken. How are we gonna get, how is Dave Lowe now? David Lowe, how are you gonna get your input? I mean, this is a little bit of a road, it's an uphill battle, I think, with Prince George. It just seems like Prince George, like we've had such issues in the trustees, the superintendent. How are we gonna get this train wreck
Back on the rails.
back on the rails? This is really, this is for our children, and it just seems like we've watered down the school system. Like, what's going on?
We used to have a story, but a guy asked, how do I eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. So you gotta pick your battles in small areas, little by little. So we would pick our battle in the school district. If myself and Milton say get in, then there's some other ones on the school board already that would think like we do.
Yeah.
Okay. So we picked that battle. We got friends in the mayor and council. There's people there that are friends. That if we need issues there brought up, we can do that. We need to position ourselves in the provincial government.
In which we're working on, like I just finished coming back from Fort St. John, where we had a group there that are looking for a change, and we're working with the Conservatives, Conservative Party of British Columbia, right? So we are getting people that are like-minded, people that have the core values. I think core values is what we're missing. Core family values. That's been missing. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but we will have people provincially.
Isn't that interesting? Just as a note, pre-election 2024, is that when the next major election of council and school board is?
Provincial, that's provincial.
Provincial election is October of 2024.
Okay, so it's 2026. I'm getting ahead of myself. Trudy Clausen is the number one person on the as a counselor, just in case she needs somebody's support next time around.
Well, she speaks to the people, right?
Yeah.
And she's got the core values at heart.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
And so,
Big shout out to Trudy Clausen for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
she's doing a great job.
she does a great job. So I wasn't interested in the provincial Conservatives, to be honest with you, because they always fought. They had all the leaders in the last 20 years. You can tell I've been around a while. Always fought against each other. They were power tripping. I said they are fighting over nothing. They are nothing. They're going nowhere. Why fight over who's going to be running the show? Until all of a sudden, there was a John Rustad.
Yes.
All of a sudden, he's appointed leader. And all of a sudden, everybody's getting in line. I said, that's amazing. It really is amazing.
It's also it's going to be a truly grassroots movement.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm actually working with the riding associations for the North to get the right core people.
Yeah.
They're going to be nominated by the people, right? The nomination will come from the members. The nominations will be voted on by the members, that they're going to choose who they are going to have represent them running. And if the people come on board, they will get in, and they'll know that they'll have somebody that's representing them that is going to work for the people. And that's the big change. That's why John actually left, well, not the fact that he got kicked out of the BC Liberals, for actually speaking up and actually having, using a voice for his constituents. He spoke against caucus because caucus was doing the wrong thing, and he was thinking of his constituents and thinking about his people, right? And that's a man with true core values and looks after his people. He's not a politician, he's a statesman. So we need statesmen and we need stateswomen. That's what we're looking for. People that are going to work for the people, right? Right now, politicians are liars and cheaters, and politicians are the ones that are actually destroying the fabric of our country.
But you know what? I hear exactly what you're saying. And I think a lot of people that are even watching the show here tonight, and that's why I think we've had some great success on all of our channels, the YouTube, the Twitter, and our show has been growing by leaps and bounds. And it's because people want to see ordinary ordinary mom and dad's people.
Yeah.
That they're working, the people are working, they're not politicians. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just ordinary people that.
Blue collar people, you know, we
It's
actually have
people
blue
over
collar, white
politics,
collar, we
right?
got
It's
people that
kind
actually have core values. Core values is gotta be the center. Like I know, like David's got his core values, family is first and foremost in his life. And I'm fighting this fight because of family. I'm fighting for my 9-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
My 9-year-old daughter is in the system, right? That I actually had a conversation with my wife today, that if the system doesn't change, we're pulling her out of the system.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I wanted to talk to David about was, why is it that in Prince George, we have record amount of parents pulling children out of the school system? So this is a good question.
No, it's not just Prince George. Look at what happened in
I
New
know.
Brunswick. 31,000 students did not show up to school June 1st.
Yes.
Yes,
Because it was Pride Day.
yes, Pride Month. Yeah.
That was the first day.
So here's the thing. Okay,
30,000 children.
so it's gay pride, but really, should it not be just human pride?
Yeah.
Like you're wearing a straight pride t-shirt, you're proud to be a heterosexual.
I am.
Yeah.
I can show that right there. I can
You know,
show
and
that.
the thing is there's nothing, even though pride is actually the #1 sin.
Yes.
Pride comes before the fall. Cometh before the fall, right? So the month of June, right? So does that mean July is gonna be a prosperous month?
Well, it's right, that's why I printed out about 70 or 80 shirts like this here, and people can actually contact me, and they're gonna have they need to be proud, because what they're doing is they're spinning things around. But anyways, back to your topic, not to go down this one here, this rabbit hole, but let's get back to the why are our parents out there right now pulling their children from the school system? What's David Lowe gonna do to maybe encourage these children to come back?
Well, I'm a bit divided because I have friends who are head of the homeschooling division in town. And they say they've had a 100% increase in the last year in Prince George for homeschoolers. And so it's because of the tensions on the school board, =1, and =2, there has not been a whistleblower policy. Teachers are silenced if they say this other teacher promotes themselves and promotes their sexuality and is very argumentative and belligerent. Well, you're not in school to promote that kind of stuff. You're in school to teach kids, okay? So, but they won't come forward because they'll get in trouble with the president of the teachers union.
Right.
So,
And you know that the president of the Teachers Association really pushes the SOGI agenda, really pushes the trans and the gay communities.
Why are we pushing that when academics? When you look at the academics, like the maths, the reading, the sciences, why is that at the bottom?
I have no idea. Do you know why they've been doing this, David? You know?
it has been a bewilderment to me why they got so sidetracked. And what happens is you get distracted with confusion and distracted with conflict, okay? So you want to go and be nice to everybody, mistake, but you want to go be nice to everybody, so you try and work with that. And instead of saying, listen, we're not going to be dealing with that, we're going to have policies to deal with that, and we're going to cause people to stick to it and teach what we tell you to teach. Don't go outside that boundary. Tell parents what you want to do, and parents will leave their kids in public school if they are part of it. There's a bit of a joke, and we call them public schools, but really they're government schools.
They are government schools.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we might as well call them residential schools. That's what, if you really want to call it that. Sorry that I'm calling it out, because here's the thing that really upsets me.
Yeah.
Right? When my daughter comes home and says to me, Dad, is it okay that I'm a girl? That upsets me. Is it okay for me to be a girl?
Yeah.
And she's 9 years old.
Yeah.
I said to her, where did you get this from? Well, I'm hearing it in the schools.
Okay.
Right? And I'm hearing it in the playground. And I'm hearing it in the class. Right now, when that happens, do we not have a problem? She should be coming to me, Dad, why is it that 2 + 2 = 4? Right? Because right now they're making it sound like 2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah.
And there's a song about that High Res has done, right? And then the thing is it says, if you disagree, right? You know, I don't want to go on to the next part because it's not right. But the thing is my daughter's 9. This is happening at the age of 9 in grade 3, right? And the thing is, and I have to question her every day when she comes in. What did you learn in school, right? You know, are you a boy or a girl, right? And so I say, Dad, I'm a girl now. And then when it is, you like boys, you like girls. She goes, Dad, I'm not old enough. Thank you. That's what they have to know. They're not old enough because that's what parents have to teach their kids. Parents need to teach their kids that stuff. Let the schools teach math, English, geography, history, geometry. That's where it's got to go back to. And the thing is, I'll keep fighting every day, and I'll fight to get somebody who's got core values like David in, right? Otherwise, if it's not going to happen, my kid's out. And I will find the people that will do the right education, because we need to have our kids at the top of the list. They have to be the best they can be. Forget about this 50 down to 40. My daughter's got to have 70, 80s, 90s. The teachers, I'll tell you right now, I had a teacher, sorry that I'm cutting you off here, but I had a meeting with my daughter's teacher. And I asked my daughter's teacher, I said, how is my daughter doing compared to the other kids in the class? Well, we don't do that now. I says, well, what gives her the ambition and the drive to be better if you're not excelling them and pushing them to be the best they can be? Right?
And it's unfortunate because the answer really, I truly believe that the answer really is not to pull the kids from the school. But what's happening is a lot of parents have got to the end of the road. They're frustrated now. And I think that's the only way that they know how to deal with it, is to pull their children out, because it's not going in the right direction. I hope that, David, you guys, like people can, to get out there and vote for David and Milton Mahoney. That's the other one that you're wanting to endorse, right?
Yes. Saturday, 8 till 8 in Malaspina School.
Glenview Elementary. Pineview Elementary. Van Bien Training Center.
Van Bien Training Center.
And Heritage.
Yeah. You notice that I'm on top of it? I don't know if you noticed, but my post that I put, because I posted that I was pretty upset the night of the all candidates panel, and the fact that you and Milton were the only ones that were talking about the fact that we are the lowest rated schools in BC. No one else brought that up, right? So, the fact that, you didn't put Soji to the front. You said, why are we talking about this when it's a provincial issue? Why are we talking about education?
Yes.
Yeah, and none of the other people on the panel spoke that way. And then Josh also, sadly enough, Josh stepped down. The thing is I think he actually woke a lot of people up to the issues we have.
Well, I talked to Josh before that, and he had the opinion, and I agree with him. It's like the American election or trying to nominate who's going to run against Trump. So you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. Do they have a hope in the world? Not a hope in the world. But what they're doing is they have an issue that's unique to them, and and they're going to get a panel before the whole United States, and they're going to say their 2 bits about what they believe, and Trump is going, or whoever gets in, is going to say, I'm going to appoint you to take care of that, and they're going to be part of the government.
Yeah.
So Josh did a very good thing. He riled up the inclusive people to show you that they're not so inclusive after all, and he put his point across. And so good for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got the reaction he was expecting.
You want to know something? He got the reaction that he was expecting.
Yeah,
right? And the thing is it showed where the others are sitting, right? And the thing is, I'll tell you right now, because Josh is a good friend of mine, he's going to work on a different angle to help empower the children and help to empower the families and bring the family unit back. And Josh has got a plan. And when he's ready to let it out, we're gonna have him on the show, because he will work with you guys and stuff.
I really hope that things do turn around, because there's a lot of parents that are talking with lawyers. This is from Red Dog just now. Red Dog just basically said, please review the 180 criminal code for the solution to the problem in their schools. A moral standard is one of the things that is and has been common to all the things, all the king's subject. Drag queens in kindergarten is a breach of the 180 criminal code.
Okay, there's also another criminal code. Criminal Code S163.1. It is an indictable offense liable to imprisonment to exploit or expose minors to any form of pornography or sexual explicit material or activities.
That's right.
Criminal code. So what we need to do is go to the RCMP office, ask them, do you abide by and do you follow the Criminal Code of Canada? And if they do, we tell them, section 163.1, right, is the sexualization of children is a criminal code offense.
So what I want you to do is email that to me, because that gives us some teeth in the school board to say to teachers, you cannot present explicit material in the classroom that illustrates anything to do with sexuality or sexual intercourse or
Sexually explicit material. Sexually
I just
explicit.
find that this
They're using gingerbread.
Yeah, and I don't want to go too deep. I don't want to go too deep into that subject, because we're going to be here a long time. But I just tell you, what we need to do is the community really tell your friends, your neighbors, get out there. We really got to do democracy right now in Prince George and all throughout British Columbia, and I think it's actually in Canada too. We've got to stand up as parents, and we've got to turn the ship around.
David Lowe. For school trustees. School trustees.
Get out there and vote this Saturday, 8 to 8. We got to do it. We got to get these guys in there. This can't go on anymore. Our children need us. Get out there and vote, please.
I want to thank you for
Thank
I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. And all that listen.
Yeah, right on.
And you have some people who are not in this group who also listen. I don't know if you do that or not, but they are impacted by this show and by they saw my interview that you interviewed me.
Yeah.
And I got some pushback by an email from somebody who is not in this group, who would be not for this group. But so it's interesting. You're affecting many people more so than you think.
Yeah, you're actually, I'll tell you right now, we are the only ones that actually recorded the whole all candidates forum, and the teachers union actually recommended people to go to PG Real News to watch it. So did the Teachers Association. And so I made sure that I put the message on there that had to stick. Yeah. All right, thanks a lot, David.
We'll see lots of you in the future.
All right. I gotta have a sip of water.
Well, you know something, let's get the next group up. Right? So we call this Dozers Corner.
While you're on this subject, bring Edward up, talk about that criminal code, give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
You want to talk about the criminal code?
Sure.
Let's get him up. But tonight's awesome. This is good.
Okay, we're gonna go a little bit longer.
We're gonna probably go.
Then we're gonna get Art.
We want to get Art,
Ryan,
and we're gonna get Elliot McDavid. We gotta get his brother on. We're gonna have Johnny's in the house too. We got people here. We have Dozer. Okay, so
I'm Minister Edward J. Robin. I'm a follower of Christ and the King changed my name, but I've been a law scholar for well over 30 years. And I've discovered some things about the law, and it's really kind of basic and simple. The reason we have government is not to abuse us and beat us over the head and jail us, but it's to protect us. So when you see 180 of the criminal code, it's been in place for 130 years. Right up the line, this Royal Style and Titles Act one of the basic backbones of a government under a Christian monarch. It says they're a defender of the faith. So 180 of the criminal code that our illustrious Trudeau tried to repeal in 2018, unsuccessfully. It tells you simply there that if you're trying to do what's common to all of your Majesty's subjects, and some public official or service provider should make you feel uncomfortable. That's the word that it says in 180.2 of the Criminal Code. Well, that discomfort is anything that's apart from the moral standard that's in the Bible. Well, anybody that's read the Bible has probably heard of Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, that's sexual immorality. When they bring sexual immorality into the schools, they're violating 180 of the Criminal Code. Now, Trudeau and his Choice Rainbow Club, well, they don't like that because it's offending their choice of immorality and their mental illness called gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
Now, this is recognized by the psychiatric institutions around the world. Gender dysphoria is a mental illness. So when we see our school boards promoting mental illness in the kindergartens, we see that our school boards are now suffering from a social illness, a depravity, and a norm from the morality that normally has existed since Christ was here, as recorded in the book. Sexual immorality is against the defender of the faith principle. So when we see these people doing it in front of us, we read 180 of the Criminal Code, and we ask ourselves, why are we not complaining? Well, it's because nobody's read it before. Nobody knows. It's very simple English. And I encourage everybody to go and read it and see if your politician will defend it.
Well, you should also see if the law enforcement will do something about it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing we need to do is bring it to law enforcement, right?
Actually, that's a great point.
Bring you a good example is to you excellent thinking there, because I went to Marythorpe RCMP and I asked them, I said, I'm feeling kind of uncomfortable about my faith-based beliefs here and the way society's going. And I'd like to know, how do I go about getting 180 of the Criminal Code enforced? I've got a recording of this.
That's 180, criminal code. he probably
It's
said.
called nuisance. He did. He said, what is that? And I said, that's nuisance. Sergeant Dodds, Mason Marythorpe RCMP Sergeant. You'd think he knew the Criminal Code to be a sergeant. He said, what's that called? I said, that's a nuisance. So he goes, I can hear him flipping the pages, and he's reading it. And he comes back and he says, I think it's you that's being the nuisance. Well, because he was beginning to read there that if he made me feel uncomfortable, that all of a sudden he's violating the Criminal Code. Hello? Anybody listening? This is the most powerful section of the Criminal Code that exists to maintain the Christian monarchy in this country. The defender of the faith is in the Royal Style and Titles Act. If anybody's been listening to the news, Trudeau said he's removing it. Guess what the main offer was to get that government in trust, and you would trust the government, defend you, save you harmless. It's that defender of the faith. That's, hey, trust us. We got a Bible. We'll save you harmless. We're following the scriptural principles. Now, when Trudeau says I'm repealing defender of the faith, he's destroyed the trust. There is no contract, any social contract that has been obtained, whether it be your driver's license, your marriage license, your social insurance number. Those social contracts are void now. And they're especially void if they violate your faith and beliefs. And there's a Supreme Court decision from 2004 called Absalom, where a Jewish couple got it decided that if a contract violates your faith, it's void. Well, the social insurance number is a social contract. It also has allowed the government to put your name to what's called a legal fiction. See these all capital letter names? The government sends you anything, Revenue Canada, there's that all capital letter name. And that's a legal fiction in law. And there's court cases that talk about that. So they're running a fraud. And now they're bringing in an immoral standard in violation of 180 of the criminal code. So when you understand the scam was a bait and switch program, the confidence man, of the 16th, 17th century, they called him the confidence man, and then they shortened it to the con man. And there's the con game. Well, that's what they've been running here for a long time.
And
So
now it's
anyways,
just everything is happening a lot quicker with this con game.
Oh.
But a lot of people like ourselves, like yourself, and a lot of these people,
Oh,
there's
wait,
25, 30 people here in the room, everyone knows what's going on. We
Yep.
can actually see past all that stuff, right? And
yes,
that's just smart people. We're trying to tell other people, but some of them are just really, they're not listening and they're gonna just.
well, those are the woke, these are the awake.
Yeah,
Big difference.
there's a big difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to thank you very much for coming
Thank
up and
you.
telling us for that. And
Thank you.
you keep. You know what, that's exactly why we have this beautiful family right across British Columbia, and we have it right across Canada.
Yeah.
You, Dominic, have traveled across Canada, much like a lot of the people that are in this room here tonight. I'm gonna bring up now, we wanna do,
No, Dozer's asleep.
we wanna do
we're gonna wake Dozer up.
because I love for people to see those,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna get Dwayne up here as well, and
Yeah.
and Ryan and Dozer. And then I'm gonna actually step down. You do the thing.
you want to do anything?
Yeah.
Or I can step down, and you can do it.
No.
Okay.
You know something. If I want, I'll come and.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There he goes. There he goes. Yeah.
Get on the
Come on
chair,
up.
you don't get the couch.
Elliot's got to get in here too.
Oh, look at Elliot on after.
Okay. Okay, sneak in a little bit that way there. Ryan.
All right, Ryan, get in there.
I'll just sit on Luke's lap, or Luke's gonna sit on my lap.
Actually, you know what? Do you want to get these boys up here? Because we can.
Bring them up.
We'll bring them up here. These guys can get in here. Let's do it like that. Let's get up here. Red Dog, McDavid, let's go. Both the McDavids. Woo! All right, get into here, you guys. I don't know.
Have another chair.
You know what? And what we can do is, this is like, so you guys will share the mics and stuff like that because we got lots. You know what? Brother, how are you?
How you doing, buddy? Love you, man.
Now, this is like, we got to 12 episodes that I really thought that nobody was really gonna listen to us on the first episode when we were in Winnipeg.
Yep.
You know, Dom's just like, did I tell you we were going to Winnipeg? Because I think your wife was calling, like she's saying, like,
Yeah, well.
I was telling everybody, we're going to Winnipeg. I was telling the story like before we left town. Eh? His wife's like, apparently you guys are going to Winnipeg. I heard rumors. You guys are calling him. And he was like, yeah, Luke told me that. We're going to Winnipeg. You're coming.
And you did, so.
I did. I had to apologize to my wife because she had no choice. I'm not dating. I don't know what to tell you. But she's listening tonight there anyways.
Yeah, you heard her one feeling that you had left after dealing with you all these years later.
Oh, boy. Hey, it's been a long time. She's still with me. But you, my friend, you know what? You've got 2 days before you get married.
Oh, Jesus.
Prince George.
Jesus help me, no?
It is
No, it's
awesome.
all good, man. It's uncharted waters for me, so I'm a little bit, excited about it, I'd say, or a little bit, is it nervous or excited, or?
They're both. You know what?
Maybe a little bit of both, and I mean,
If you're nervous, it just means that that's exciting.
and we're doing it under God's law, we're not doing it under the Corporation of Canada.
Yeah.
We're trying to get out of the Corporation of Canada, not in. You know what I mean? That's what it's gonna be, man. If two people can't make an agreement between each other,
That's right.
we got a problem in this country, and we know we got problems in this country already.
Yeah, we do, and that's why we're doing what we do best up here is to get PG Rail News. That's where we all started. I mean, we're boots on the ground. We don't edit nothing. It's all raw, and that's what people really appreciate is good, honest, good, hardworking, good, honest people that just want to protect our next generation, the children. I mean, for all of us, everyone that's up here right now, like, you know what, at the end of the day, our time is kind of gone. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to be getting into new careers and all that kind of crap. But at the same time, we know that we need to save the next generation, and that's our children. So let's talk a little bit about, let's go into, well, I mean, we could talk about all kinds of stuff like that, right? But I think you've got something really big that you've been working on. Maybe let everybody know about that. We're gonna talk a little bit about the CAP PG, right? So Art, you guys can introduce yourselves as we go around the table. So let's do it like that, yeah, let's start with you, we'll go back to your role and then we'll go that way.
Yeah, well, a bunch of us been working on a convoy. It's Save the Children East meets West. And this is perhaps the most important convoy to ever happen in this country. And it's been shared west to east, and it's getting a lot of attention. It's bringing hope to a lot of people. These children are the next, these children have no voice right now. I get shivers thinking about it, that this government's taking everything from them. It's time we give back and we show them that we're there for them, and we need everybody to stand up. Your job doesn't matter, your mortgage doesn't matter. You can run a month without paying your mortgage. Don't worry about that bullshit. Don't worry about your credit. That's all corporation shit that they've made up anyway. And it really doesn't mean anything to me anymore. I mean, I'm willing to put boots in the ground and fight for this country, and we got to get this convoy going. Hashtag Save the Children. In 2 weeks, you got 3.9 million. I don't know if you call it a retweet or a repost or whatever it is. 3.9 million in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
And we got 3 groups coming on board right now, children groups, Canadian Trucker for Kids, Canadian Trucking for Kids. Another one is Indigo. And this lady works with children, and she's been approached by LGBTQ groups, gay people. We don't care what race, color, creed you are, what your sexual preferences. We don't want the kids being groomed. The kids' minds are still growing to the age of 16. We don't need that. We don't need it in the schools. So think about it, guys. Sit down and take a long, hard look at what's going on in this country with the children. And we got to save them. We got groups coming on board, and what we're going to do with the LGBTQ and the gay people, they're all brothers and sisters, man. And we're going to show the country that we all get along. We're all family. That's right. There's no difference between me or one of them.
Yeah, and this is really interesting. It's an interesting topic because a lot of them that are actually going to be on this convoy, they're speaking out and saying that they're, you know, gay and lesbian and whatever, and they're comfortable in their skin and everything like that, and that's great. But they're ringing the bell for the alarm. Many of them are.
Many of them that are out there saying that that's not.
Right.
You know,
So they know what's going on.
It belongs in an adult place, not in a child place. That doesn't. There's no reason for that.
And I think we can all come to an agreement, and I think everybody here in this room knows that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're whatever you're going to do, but just do that in your own bedroom. It doesn't need to be pushed upon the children that have no right. Their minds they just want to go to school and have fun like we used to do when we were young, right? Climbing fences, jumping the fence.
Yeah, one of the
Throwing your
biggest
bike
things
over
is
the
we had fun in school. Our two children have grown up now. They have their kids, and they're the ones that are in school. Can you imagine if it was our kids in school right now going through that?
This wouldn't be
happening. And this is why we're the ones that have to stand up for our children, because they can't. It's not in them. This world is not bred for that anymore. You don't have that anymore. Like, how many people could sit there and have a decent conversation with somebody without having an argument with them or turning it into an argument, right? You can't do that anymore. It's the same thing. Our kids can't stand up and fight for themselves because they don't know how. Right. They're told that they can't do something, and that's what they believe. They don't know to go back to their parents and say, hey, or, you know, an elderly or an adult and say, hey, what should I be doing here? They just listen to what they're told, or they go look it up on the internet.
How did we get, Red Dog, how did we get to this? How did we get here? Like, it just seemed like now the teachers, and we know a lot of teachers, they don't agree. They're in the school system. They don't agree with what's going on. We hear it. It's not like we don't hear it. Like, we all hear this stuff that's going on. But how did it get to a point where even the teachers now, they can't believe what's happening in front of their eyes? They would love to have a whistleblower call in, you know, like just to let them know. But how did it flip that we can't even have a discussion anymore? And if you do, you're a racist. Like, how did we get to this? How do we get to this point?
They don't need a whistleblower. They all need to shut it down. Strike right now, shut down the schooling system. They need to stop teaching until we get a new curriculum, period. End of story. If they hadn't done this at the first of COVID, there would be no COVID.
Yeah.
The powers that be would understand that Canada is awake and we're not taking this shit. These guys are going to school going to work for a paycheck, and they shouldn't be. All they gotta do is stay home for a week. 1 week, shut it down.
It takes us 10 days, 10 days to 14 days to shut this, to
Yeah,
shut
that's
the
right.
corporations down.
Medical division, everything. Every corporate division in Canada.
And that's what I was saying,
Shut her down.
when David was here, I was like, how is it in British Columbia? And you guys are from Alberta, you can probably tell us a little bit more, but, and Danielle Smith, I look forward to meeting Danielle Smith. I know that, I put my bar up here, I will meet Danielle Smith. She's done a great job, I love her. But in Alberta, is it the same kind of thing that's going on like in British Columbia? Because everything's upside down in this part.
It's there, but I don't think it's
Not as bad.
it's not as bad as BC. That's why we had basically Sharon wanted to have the wedding here because of her dad. You can't travel. And I always said, you know what? BC needs to love it. And when you get 150, 200 of the biggest freedom fighters in this country, or people, not the biggest, but the people that care,
Biggest heart.
the biggest heart people are going to be in this town. Saturday for that wedding. Yeah, and the theme of it's going to be cowboys and Indians. That's what I mean. Brothers and sisters, man.
And where's Dominic? Dominic's not here. I told Dominic, Cowboy and Indians, I said, you're not wearing that grade 7 shirt. I said, and you're not wearing your grade 7 tight pants.
And no Italian. No Italian.
I try to wear, I don't wear those pants, Dominic. Those are from your catechism days. I go, no.
Where is he? Funny when Don we're talking about him. He's over at the bar. That's a good place.
I look at them, I call him Joey for Jolie now. He had beans in his pocket one day, and I'm like, what the heck are you doing? He goes, oh, I was planting the garden. I said, your name is Joey for Jolie. It's a good life. Anyways, so let's go down the rest of the line here and do some interviews. They got the mics there, yeah.
Mine's on.
You
Yeah,
guys.
I'm just, I just got back from Ontario myself. I went on the convoy. Most people already know that. Best thing ever. If you can't, pictures can't say what that did for us. That was a start. Didn't do much for Canada in a sense, but it woke up the world, which made a difference.
It was amazing, brother.
And I mean, the biggest thing I found that come out of it is the people that you met. Like, you meet the people that you know are going to stand up, because there's so many people out there in this world that say, I know, I'll stand up when you need me, I'll be there. Geez, I've seen more backs turned on me than I have faces. So it's you know, Canada used to be that way. I grew up and all my friends said, oh yeah, let them come for us. We'll go into the mountains and hide. Well, all those friends are now hiding. They're not hiding in the mountains. They're hiding behind their paychecks. They're hiding behind that corporation that they have to go and spend their money at. You guys, we can do this. My thing, I'm doing the CAP PG, Community Awareness Program. I'm with the gardening, trying to be sustainable. We can become sustainable. It's kind of like the same with the children. We don't need to let this shit happen. Excuse me, we don't need to let this stuff happen anymore. We are in charge. This isn't anybody else that's in charge. We stop paying, you know, it seems hard for everybody at first, but the bosses, the people that own these businesses need to say, you know, okay, we need structure. We know that. We need to pay something. It doesn't have to be taxes. We have enough resources in Canada. We should never pay taxes. But otherwise, if we have to, there'll be a way for that down the road. But we stop supporting corporations. We stop supporting the government. As hard as it is for you to do, maybe I shouldn't say this on here, but I haven't paid taxes for my business since I started.
It's awesome.
Since Trudeau was in power.
Yeah, beautiful.
Some people say I'm an idiot. Some people say whatever, but I don't get nothing from the government. I don't want nothing from the government. I don't believe in that corruption. So it's like going to buy a car for my daughter, and because I like it, I buy it for her. No, that's not what I would do. I buy a car that she likes, right? We don't pay for something that we don't like. So why are we paying the government? And I'm not saying that everybody can do this. You know, some people won't. They won't have the guts to do it. They're worried about losing their mortgage. Well, you can lose your mortgage and sit in your house for 10 years and they're not going to take it from you. They're not paying a dime.
Right.
You know that, right? The bank cannot take your house from you if it's occupied, whether you pay your mortgage or not. I'm a witness to that. I've done it. My mother lost her house. We sat in it for years after my stepdad passed away. And because the bank screwed up, they told me you didn't need to, you know, if you pass away, you're paid for, right? And so We sat there and we dealt with the bank until they got it down low enough to where it was feasible to buy. So you can sit there in a house if they foreclose on you or whatever. You know, stop buying stuff from Costco. Stop buying stuff from these corporation stores. Go to your neighbor. Trade and barter. Mom and pop stores. We don't have those anymore because, well, Costco's is cheaper. Well, okay, but Costco's, who does that may feed the people or, you know, pay the wages of the people that work there. But does that person that owns that store, how much do they make compared to those people, right? Mom and pop store, they have somebody working there, that person's gonna make a good wage. They're not making a whole bunch of money. They just barely surviving, you know? Trade and barter. Let's go back to the old system. When people say, oh, we gotta go back to the ancestors or the elders and stuff, they always turn right to the natives. Everybody says, well, you know, we all have ancestors. We all have a way of living that our ancestors used to live, right? And that's what we gotta go back to. I'd say 10 days, we stop paying this, or people just stop. Look what happened in the convoy. 14 days, this country was crumbling. Other countries were stopped. We're not dealing with Canada anymore because of the incompetency of the government. They weren't blaming the people, so the government turned that around on the people and said, "Oh, you guys got to go back to your provinces. You're destroying us."
And that's
what we did.
That's what they had to.
That's
That's
what
what
they
they
did.
felt that they had to turn that around, and it was hurting on them.
We had them crumbling. So now you can imagine if you had even half this country. So now you heard the latest. We have 40 million people now in this country. We just grew by 2 million people over the last year. Immigrants, of course, because my daughter works at a funeral home, and there's been more deaths in the last year than there has been, you know, in the whole life of a funeral.
Forever, yeah.
That's
And then we had the
right.
airport in Edmonton, there was a lot of passenger planes coming in, a lot more than used to.
Yeah.
They're coming in steady, every 15 minutes are coming in.
Yeah.
They're bringing them in.
One funeral home in Prince George had 300 deaths, and that's a small funeral home.
Wow.
That's the smallest funeral home in Prince George. So you can imagine what BC was like, or what, you know.
Wow.
And then we increased by 1 million. So what does that tell us? But if you took half of those people, or even a quarter of those people, like 10 million people, stop paying your taxes, stop paying your things. As hard as it may seem, you think you have to do that, but do you ever get a letter saying you must pay your taxes? Here's your bill. No, you send your taxes to us
That's right.
voluntarily. Voluntarily. I've done this I'm now going on 7 years, and I've got letters. I just send an email back saying, prove to me I have to pay my taxes, show me where it says I have to, and I've never got a letter back. I've never.
My business has been closed for 3 years. I get a call 2 days ago from CRA. And the guy tells me, well, I want to verify.
Assessed you.
I said, do you want to verify me? Well, I want to verify you. Who the F are you? So I want your badge number, I want your employee number, whatever it is, and I want you to send me a letter with stating that fact, that who you are. Because those people don't scare me. You can tell he didn't like that, because most people roll over and give the name and, okay, CRA, I'm terrified of you. That guy don't scare me. He's a, excuse my language, piece of shit working for the Corporation of Canada, and it's illegal what he's doing, unlawful, let's say. Legal is their term. And I'm waiting for that letter, and I'm gonna have a good time with it. And then I'm gonna tell him, I don't need to talk to you, I have no contract with you. Simple.
That's right.
So, goodbye.
Wording, it's all in wording.
It's all wording, guys.
It's all in wording. If you legally, you used to be able to earn a living, right? I'm out making a living to survive. Now, what do you do? You're out working to pay taxes to live, right? You're not, I'm allowed to live. I shouldn't, if I can't afford to pay taxes, why should I have to pay them? Right? If I barely make enough money because the government screws everything and makes everything so high, well, why should I pay taxes?
That's all changing anyways, basic income is on its way. Anyways, okay, let's go down the road here.
My name is Dwayne Belchuk. I went across Canada with art.
Yeah.
Actually went across Canada twice.
Yeah.
My biggest message to people would be, don't think you can't make a difference. I'm just a disabled guy, I'm retired, I can't work.
Right.
I live in a small town of like 1,000 people, just outside of Dixon.
Yeah.
And I drove at the front of that convoy. And I went to Ottawa, and I stood right there in front of them.
Yeah.
And I was on 5 different news stations. This is me, right? Like, I'm nobody special. I just went.
Yeah.
Because I needed to be there.
Yeah.
Someone needed me there,
That's awesome.
right? So when you just take that chance and you step forward, you get an opportunity to speak and you get a chance to be heard.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're right on point or just off a little bit, or you have your own idea.
Yeah.
It's just about getting it out there and pulling people together and showing them that you can do this, right? And someone like me, like, I'm in the bottom, you know? And there I was in the front of it all. And it was an amazing experience. It was a spiritual experience. And I can't thank this guy enough. It was life changing, and I'm a different person now. I support Art's endeavor with the gardens. I let them use my land. I donate the proceeds for a greenhouse.
I got a window for you guys too.
And
Anybody else that's
I'm
listening?
still doing my part because it needs to be
Yeah,
done.
but if there's anyone out there that has like windows and doors and stuff like that, we need greenhouses, and we're gonna do a lot of greenhouses. I got the big window, right? We're gonna do that, bring that tandem on, so trailer, we're gonna get that.
Yeah.
And I got some doors too.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, right? That's all it takes, right?
You know what, this is exactly why we have such an awesome family, like, isn't it? Right? Everybody get on here, right? That's why we got such good people, right? This is what, we all band together, we know exactly what's going on. A lot of people are like, oh, well, you guys got all these conspiracy things, and I'm like, no, we're just doing our homework. If you wanna go to the website and actually read what he's actually doing, because it's not even a conspiracy. This is like, we're like, they're looking at us, and like,
Because we're talking about it now.
because we're talking about it and bringing it out there, we know exactly what he's doing. And then he gaslights a whole bunch of things, including the fires that happen in Canada simultaneously. I mean, like, come on, I mean,
Crazy
like,
stuff.
can we just put some common sense to some of these things here? Right? I mean, we know what's going on, you can't fool us. And then what they like to do is they put this Soji thing in there, and they really divide families. Families now, we just come out as the greatest, like, pandemic they've ever put together. They put families against each other.
They ran out of race.
They did this actually even before that. When you guys were going right across Canada, when the truckers were going there, didn't you get your neighbor? Oh, those people there. I mean, we just divided people at that point. Now then we moved into the COVID. We divided more people now. Now you got soldiers going across country, right across this whole entire country. Kids are being affected. A 9-year-old coming home and thinking that, you know, now he's changing genders. These kids can't even vote. They can't even tell mom and dad, well, this is the time that I should go to bed at. You're gonna be like, my dad would have went like this.
Yeah, they're taking
Dad would have went like this, and the belt.
they're taking the power away from the people.
Dad was like that.
The government has the best behavioral specialist in the world working on this stuff.
Yeah, like,
Working on it for decades.
they're amazing.
They know
They're
what to do.
amazing that they're dividing a country that stood up before, and now we're the laughing stock. Right?
Well, we're gonna change that, aren't we?
That's what they're saying. Very good, right?
12,000 little boys and girls under the age of 16 last year did the MAID program. What does that tell you?
Yeah, we were just talking about that, whether they don't give the death counts for the MAID in BC. We can't
Still
get-
haven't.
Until it's more cocaine.
Yeah,
Safely.
that's next, yeah.
Yeah, now here's the trigger words that they're saying is say, what are they saying now? It's a safe supply. It's a safe supply, so now they've given in language, they're gonna be making, the government's going in bed with, basically, they might as well go down to Mexico and figure all this out with the cartel. That's what they're doing.
Actually, we shouldn't say that, because the cartel
They sell it to people, those people take it and jump on it, it's no different than the stuff in the streets right now. And there's a weed company out of, I think out of Langley, it's got the government's permission to buy coca leaves out of South America and make cocaine, I mean, come on, guys.
So now what they're doing now, I see what the medical system is doing, is they're safe supply, they're using the safe supply word, right? And they're changing it around because they knew that everybody else was getting it from the black market. So they want to change that around, and the government now wants to be the cartel.
They're the drug dealer, right?
Now they're gonna be the drug dealer, so now they're learning how to be that, right? And now they're selling it, because you can get everything on that whole list. I mean, this is going way off the rails.
You know what, I want to say something now. We're talking about this. Now, this is where we have the problem. And I'm not just gonna say this is anybody's problem. This is everybody's problem. Because the fact that we're even talking about this and we let it happen has gone beyond what it should have been already. when we're talking about something, it's already beyond what it should be.
That's right.
Why are we being or reactive instead of proactive? We warn people about stuff months ahead of time. And they always wait till they hear Tucker Carlson or whoever, Shadow Davis, or they wait till all these guys announce it 2 weeks later, and then everybody's going, oh, wow, we didn't know about that. Well, geez, if you would have paid attention 2 weeks ago, we were trying to warn you guys about this already. So it's time we just wake up and start. When somebody tells you something, don't just tell them they're an idiot. Actually go back and think about it maybe, right? Like, I've been told things where I thought, there's no possible way, and I went back and I looked it up, and it's like, wow, this is actually happening.
And
Spend 5 minutes of research. The country needs to go on the offense, not the defense.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
We need to start being
We
prepared.
need
like
people to
they are.
start thinking about what the hell they're doing,
That's
and
right.
and be prepared, and try and think ahead of them, guys.
That's right.
Step ahead of them, guys.
You think that if we don't come up with something that we tell people they're gonna do, and it changes, that it didn't change for a reason? No, it changed because we warned people, like the food shortage last year. Well, we warned people that everybody grew their gardens. So what did they do? Well, they tried making us look like fools. Well, we're not gonna put a shortage out there now. Give it another 6 months.
Yeah,
And they do it.
Yeah, and that's where we are again, is in every industry, including the medical system, they don't even want you to talk about any of the problems, right? Because Adrian Dix did this in Vancouver. Remember Surrey Memorial? I don't know if you heard about that. Surrey Memorial had the problem like that. Adrian Dix helicoptered in. He was just like, oh, here you go. Here's a little bit more money. Shut up. Doctors started, and that's kind of what happens, right? Every industry, forestry, all the workers that lost over to Canfor over there, they shut the pulp mill down, right? There was a big kerfuffle for a little while. Then all of a sudden the minister, because we were just starting back then, actually it wasn't Adrian Dix, it's not my doctor. It was Premier David Eby. We were doing the recall David Eby, and he was in Prince George. Happened to be in that night. You know what I mean? Like, but it just seems like everything's gone completely off the rails. And then if we talk about something, then it's you're the racist, you're the bad person, right? And it's kind of like they do a great job at maneuvering and making it sound like, well, we just want to talk about it. That's what we're doing here tonight, right? We just care. That's all it is.
That's right.
But they don't want it, and they're doing that even with the media, right? That's what Justin's doing with the media. Right, he's censoring it, and that's why everyone's kind of coming out and saying, hey, let's start up a podcast, because that's what we did. We say, no, this is wrong. Let's start reaching everybody across this country, because we got thousands of freedom family loving people loving this country, right? And we're gonna get the message out. That's right. We're gonna have 200 people from here. I think it's actually gonna hit more than 200.
I think so. I got people messaging me that I probably should know, but I don't. Because you meet so many people, right? You meet them once and that's it, but I said, come one, come all. I mean, we'll feed everybody, we'll have a good time, we'll get together, we'll have a good meeting. And I mean, the country's gonna come together. This convoy guys, hashtag save the children is very important. This convoy could possibly change the world. Let's get the road going. I think everything, all the energy's in the right spot right now. The people are in the right spot. A lot of people are realizing what's going on and what they're actually doing. If you're on the fence and you want to cross that line, do 5 minutes of research someday. Go down there, put out the rabbit hole, guys. We love you all.
Our children and future generations aren't worth a little bit of effort.
Yeah. Put the effort in, guys.
That's right.
Or there's going to be nothing. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. There'll be nothing left if we don't put the effort in.
Any freedom loving people in the area of Prince George, where are they gonna be Saturday? At what time?
Convoy out. It'll be 2 o'clock at, it used to be called Fort George Park, but now it's Lieutenant or, I think that's the people at the native Shelly band, I think that's.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a big wedding there.
So we're having a wedding there, it's gonna be no paperwork, no permits, no liability. We are running under God's law, His land is ours.
Yeah.
And, we want people to come down and push around 200 freedom fighters.
Genesis,
Ain't happening.
God gave us permission, okay? We don't need that for permits. Genesis 1, 26 through 29, you granted us dominion over the land, the seas, the tree-bearing fruit, etc., etc. It's ours to do what we want with it.
The animals, the water.
We're here to take care of it.
We'll look after a better thing, I'll tell you that.
Okay, so Ryan, you've been so quiet over there.
I'm usually.
That's the way he is.
No, you're an informant. You're too quiet. You put your right on there. Take the microphone out of your pocket. He's gotta get up. He's fired. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there. Where's your mic? Put it in your mic. Put your mic. It's not working? There's a mic.
Don't hog it, Elliot.
Don, is that working? What's going
They
on?
all got mics off, but
So
I
Share.
met Art and Dwayne in Ottawa after my own trip to Ottawa took a bit of a turn, and they took me in, and I ended up traveling across the country with them a couple times. We did the People's Freedom Movement with Dominic and Art, and thanks, Dominic. We've just been busy right now. We're doing the CAP PG gardening thing.
So CAP is Community Awareness Project Prince George, right? And this is where we're doing like a parallel economy. A lot of people can go cappg.com. .ca, all right. You can go on that website and there's just so much on there that
It's incredible. Like there's so much going on that you guys are putting on in the community right now. It's on every different level, right? Like you don't look at just this as being a living.
Yeah.
You look at your political pushes that you guys are doing. It's I gotta give a lot of props to all the school board. It takes fighting everywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's a fight on every level.
And that's the whole thing, like what you're saying about that, right? And this is the awesome thing about this family that we've built here, like right from the Freedom Convoy and everything like that. We've got family members all across this country now, and everyone is thinking about the same thing: is to save our children, do a parallel economy, and we're building that right now in Prince George. It's a duplicatable system. We're going to be doing the town halls. We're going to fill these town halls. We're going to fill them up because it's people over politics. That's what's going on. There's a beautiful movement that's happening right now. It's grassroots from the bottom all the way to the top. And that's what I talk about with all of our leadership in Prince George. We're doing that all over throughout the province, throughout Canada. But we have to look after your own home first, right? That's why we're coming back. Look after your community. It's that pebble in the water that just goes out like that. You look after your own home. From there, it goes out to the community. And then from there, it goes out to your province. From there, it goes out, and we can do that all together. It's that spoke in the wheel. That's what we're doing right now, whether it be the school district, whether it be the medical system and all of the beautiful the nurses that are sitting at home right now, talking with John Rustad, and he's saying that there's, 6,000, 5,000, 6,000 that are nurses that went to school, the sacrifices. I keep thinking of all of these people, the sacrifices that they made. Some of them have 2 children, 3 children. The dad would watch, or it could be the other way around. Dad could have been the nurse. He was going to school. The sacrifices. And then because they got through this COVID thing, and all of a sudden they went from heroes to zero. What is this? And now all of a sudden, what a kick in the teeth. Now we're sending people into Washington, which has no mandates. They're working in there. There's no restrictions of vaccinated, unvaccinated. There's none of that. But in British Columbia, there is.
Our medical system is the worst, and we still have nurses and doctors that are laid off or that won't go back to work because they don't agree with the system. So, obviously the system has to change to be better. But we're the ones that are going to have to change it. We can't sit by idle anymore.
There's all sorts of studies that they do, right? So there's this one study that they did, and it's online, and it's this little old lady sitting at a table, and they run this simulation 3 different times, and a guy comes in and grabs her wallet out of her purse. Meanwhile, everybody's sitting there watching this happen, right? And it was one guy out of the 3 times they ran the simulation who actually stood up and said, "Hey, what are you doing? That's that lady's wallet, put it back," And it kind of relates to what we're doing, right? Like, we can't be the guy who's just going to rely. Like, we can't sit there and say, Blue Channel is going to save the world for me. Red Dog's going to save the world. We all have to do our part, And I think that's the most important thing.
And you know what? What happens to a tire? Because my chopper there, if a couple of my spokes would be broken on that, what's going to happen to that tire?
Oh,
It's not gonna run too well, is
It's gonna start
it?
wobbling, brother.
It's gonna start wobbling, right? So that's why all of those spokes need all of the people involved in that and the strength. That's what we're doing with CAPPG.
Yeah.
Right, .ca, that's what we're doing,
Right
we're
on.
building that, we're gonna do that right across this province, we're gonna make some big changes. And we have to be hopeful, that's really where it is, we need to stand up. And what really irks me the hardest is when I see the mums all the time out there. Remember when we do all these rallies? The mums were always out there, I'd go out there and I'd
Where's
be
all the
like,
men in this country?
I said, what happened?
Where is all the
I
men?
go, there's a lot of males out there. I go, but where's the men? Where's the dads? Stand up, dads. Come on. You gotta, you know, I got goosebumps.
Well, you know what, though, you hear,
Come on.
they'll look at you, they'll turn and look at you though and go, well, I'm working for my pension, I'm working for my paycheck. But they don't realize is that they're one paycheck away from being broke. They're one paycheck away from not having anything. And if you think you're gonna continue that way, eventually the government's gonna come for you and take it from you no matter what. So are you gonna go down without a fight, or are you gonna go down standing on your feet fighting?
The paycheck will be gone, the pension will be gone, the bank account will be gone, your family will be gone, your freedom will be gone.
Look at all
Your
the.
rights will be gone.
The word
Come on, guys.
government means govern, to control,
Yeah.
meditate the mind. That's what the word government means, people.
And that's why they ask you if you understand all of, every time the first question the government asks you is if you understand. And if you say
Stand
yes,
under.
you stand under. That's what that means.
Yeah.
And that's why that's the
Never
first
stand
question you
under.
ask. So anyways, the government has just proven it. Look at all the media that they're getting laid off now, right? Because so they give all these guys all this credit and all this money to go blow all this lying media out their videos, and now half of them are being fired because of new censors that are being in place.
Well, I think we just woke up a bunch more people.
Yeah, if we honestly think that the government is gonna help us in that
They can
sense,
do that.
without us doing anything about it, it's not gonna happen. If we sit back and be idle, they're just gonna come after you because the easier the pickings, those are the ones that they're gonna come after.
And
That's why they haven't come
and
after
every
us.
dad and brother out there, and son, and any adult out there physically, a woman, a man, don't think you're just one person and you can't make a difference. If everybody thought I'm just one person, this country would be gone already. Be done. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 people right there. We got 5 or 6 up here. This is a powerful little group.
I was so nervous when I took on being in the convoy, being the Northern BC organizer. I had no idea what was gonna happen. And this is just an example of what a lot of people probably go through. I'm not the type, I wasn't scared at first, but a lot of the people that I asked Dwayne, he was the first one I called, said, hey, wanna go for a beer? And we went for a beer in Ontario. A lot of people you ask that, they won't stand up. But as soon as they seen, the first 6 vehicles on the road, I tell you, every town that we hit it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's what it is you need to stand up so that person beside you realizes that they can stand up as well.
Exactly.
I can vouch for Art. Art went over there, blew the motor in his motorhome, stayed in it, came back here in another convoy, went back there, replaced the motor, came back on another. This guy's a solid, this guy's out for the kids. Hashtag save the children.
That's all I'm here for. Before I show you, I have 1 child of my own and 3 stepchildren. I've got 4 or 5 grandchildren now. I had my own business. I lived out 100 acres out of town. I was never affected by COVID. I've never worn a mask. I walked into every store I ever wanted to. If they didn't want to accept my money, I would walk out with them and touch us.
There you go.
It's not up to me to make them accept my money.
Yeah.
And so if we could all do that, I know it's not easy for some, and I don't expect everybody to be the same. Some people just have to build up to that. But yeah, it's just crazy how you can make things happen if you just do that.
Absolutely. There is a section on cappg.ca that if you want to be a part of our family and the parallel economy, click that, be a volunteer, just get in. A lot of people are like, well, I'm not really good at anything, or I'm not good at this, or I'm not good at that. We don't care. We need people. We need you as much as you need us. That's what we're doing. You'll grow a lot. Get in there, volunteer. We can do lots of different things, but there's a lot of people that I come back to that say, oh my God, thank you for doing what you guys are doing. I was in Home Depot, she ran and she caught up to me and she's like, that's you. And I was just like, yeah, I guess, like, I'm just an ordinary person, but I'm just, I just want to get out there and I talk to people. But there's so many people and how many stories upon stories that they would come up to you and they would just say, thank you. Because of you, I was lost.
Yeah.
I was lost.
Yeah.
My family turned their back against me through COVID. I couldn't eat at the table anymore. My kids turned their backs on me. And there's a lot of them out there. And I tell you, I ran into so many just beautiful people. And they came up to me and said, thank you very much. And it melts my heart.
You might have lost family, but you gained family.
Yep.
You gained family that are like-minded.
How many, and I just welled up in my eyes because there was a lot of people that were just lost, even during the COVID, they were lost and they found their family. Right?
The passion we've seen in Ottawa, we've seen a lot of passion in Coutts. I'm just gonna give you an example of one story. When they rushed, when they were coming all in full riot gear coming at us down the highway, I ran up front and I told people, start slow rolling, get in your vehicle, start slow rolling. A couple got in their vehicle, start rolling. The rest of them were standing there looking at them coming. I ran up and I yelled, arm to arm, hold the line. And we locked arms, and that's when we did that video and we sang "O Canada" and said the Lord's Prayer. You want to talk about passionate.
That was awesome.
And man, incredible. And another one was where we sat in the ditch after that. And we knew they were going to come for us on a Monday morning because that's when the 15,000, 20,000 people were gone. They'd go home. They're all locals, right? And we sat around in a circle, and I think Leo Cody gave us a few good words. And we had the cook, the preacher man. He got up and said a prayer, and we all got down on a knee in a circle. And when I got down on my knee, I know I said, I don't know what everyone else said, but I got down on my knee and I said, this is the only person I'll ever bend a knee to is the good Lord.
That's right.
And there was people crying in that group of men, and it was, man, I'm telling you, man, a moment in time you'll never ever forget. And we got to bring that back, guys. We got to get everybody together in this country, and I think now's the time to do it. That's why I know I keep pushing that convoy, guys, but that convoy is going to be so important. It's not just a convoy. This is not just a convoy. This is going to be the end of the corporation, I believe.
That's right.
If we make the move and we stand tall, and we have the numbers on the ground, and we don't fall. We armed arm. That's it.
We did the same thing in Ottawa when the police come in and they had this little fake accident. And it was done by a City of Ottawa car. We got it all on video. It took like their VIN number was replaced with the City of Ottawa sticker. He came in, ran into a car, backed out. There was two of them, but they messed up. One guy came in too soon. So then all the cops, you could say it was fake or it wasn't.
For sure.
You could say I'm a bullshit.
It's
We all seen it. Then all of a sudden, right after that, they started trying to tow vehicles. So Coda B, he was there. They were trying to tow his car, and we went over, and I walked through a group of 10, 12 cops. I don't know why I did that. I feel like an idiot because I did that all the whole time in Ottawa. Nothing scared me. I wasn't scared of nothing.
Right on.
God had me by my hand, and that was it.
Right on.
I even told this guy I was found. I didn't find God.
God leads the way, guys.
But we went in there, and there was me, Dwayne, Ryan. Basically, the three of us started it, and we did the same thing. We locked arms. There was, 30, 40 cops? Yeah. And we had them on their knees, begging us. We weren't violent or anything. And we had them on their knees. They didn't know what to do because we were standing in solidarity.
Yeah.
We were standing there.
Good Canadians,
We had cops crying.
Good Canadians.
They were hiking their mask up to try and
One
hide
of
the
these
cheers.
cops, he was probably 6'5", and he was the most scared. He's standing at the front going, "Okay, guys, just let us go. Just let us out," basically, right? Because there was a truck behind them, and it was the same thing.
Yeah.
We all sat there
Incredible,
and prayed, sang "O Canada" and the Lord's Prayer. And
It's very powerful. You guys wouldn't imagine
it's
it.
funny how you said that because that's exactly how we held. We held that block for 4 days.
Right on.
Yeah, and we held those cops there for 4 hours.
In Ottawa that held their block.
We never had any cops come in. We never had no bylaws come in.
Then they pulled the emergency act, and all the heavy equipment moved out, and
And we weren't strong.
most of the people bailed.
Together.
Yeah.
And that's the.
Well, that's it, man.
Hey, I want to shift a little bit of gears. I know we're getting up there with our time and stuff like that, but I'm so happy that Danielle Smith won in Alberta. I kept on saying, let's give it up for Danielle Smith. I mean, she's a trooper. I always said, you know, when we were on our podcast that if Alberta falls, Canada's going to fall.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want to forget about the boys up in Coutts. There's 4 of them still in jail.
4 political prisoners.
4 political prisoners. Now, I read the last little bit that that they weren't going to see any court cases until 2024. Is that-
Right now.
It's pre-trial right now.
Today's day 4, today's day 4.
Oh, they are. Okay.
They're gonna get through it. Daniel Smith, the name Daniel means God is my judge. Smith means to smite. She's here for a reason.
Yeah.
God put her in this place. She will get it done. She's got the backing of the freedom movement in Alberta, Canada-wide, and worldwide. We're gonna get through this. Daniel, you're watching? We're here for you, baby.
Oh man, she's a beauty. I love her, man. Okay, I was just so excited when she won that election. Oh, it was so good. Well, you can see my posts on Facebook. What are you using Facebook for? Well, I'm not sharing pictures anymore. It's all my good stuff, right? You get onto my page, you're gonna see this shirt.
Where's my
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Yeah, you can get your shirts. I think there's about 70. I think I got 70 being printed right now. I'm gonna have them up at the wedding and stuff. We're gonna get a lot of people wearing these. Like
70,000 you got printed?
70 right now. That's not what I mean.
We're gonna outfit everybody, man.
We're outfitting everyone. I got mediums to triple XL because I know there's some good Freedom family coming here this weekend and stuff. Anyways, what are we with time, Don?
We're still good.
We still good?
Yeah, only about an hour now.
Hour and a half? That's not too bad. Yeah, it is, but,
We
okay,
should talk
so.
about the Million Man March movement that Mark and Dwayne and Ryan did. You guys should talk about that. Why you guys did it.
Before it was reported that in Ontario. So, we went there and we brought people in and, I had 650 personal people following me that I knew that wanted to go there. That's why it scared me so much, because if this failed, I had people that were relying on me to convince them to go, right? These are people that own their own businesses, people that did logging trucks, some of them had logging trucks. You imagine what a BC logging truck's like trying to drive across Canada, you know, sleeper, so they just brought 4 or 5, but, we stayed there at the Million Man March. I started it because there's people there that couldn't get back home, people there that were still there, stuck in Ottawa. And as far as I'm concerned, these so-called people that are claiming themselves as these head leaders of this convoy should have been the ones to make sure people were protected.
That's right.
And I'm not going to say anything or any names, but when you conveniently when you're the head of a group, you want to be the head of a group, and you put yourself in the front of the line to get arrested, you're not helping your group. Okay, when you want to be a leader, a real leader, make sure he's there for his group. Well, those people weren't there, so we made sure we stuck around to make sure. We did a march. We marched down the road. We had the cop. We even had the OPP on our side. They let us do it. We marched down the bridge and back a couple times. But I stayed there because I wanted to make sure everybody was going home, and then I was the last person that I left Ottawa for people that I knew or anybody that needed help. So that's what my idea of that was, and it was successful because everybody else is there that wanted to stay there, and people that wanted to go home made it home. So I can't leave people behind.
You were on the road for I think it was 2 years that you were pretty much gone.
No, 18 months.
18 months? Okay, well,
Close enough.
that's a long time.
It's a long time.
Anyways,
Well, others.
Same. That's right. Anyways, I just want to thank you very much for doing what you got to do. And you know what? Once it gets in your blood, it's in all of our blood right now. Everybody here, a lot of people in this room right here, it's in their blood that we ain't going to stop. We're going to make this province the best that it can be again. You know, we're going to turn some things around. And I truly believe that. Now, do you want to say anything a little bit more about the convoy that's going to happen here? Like, where can people find out some information? They go to your page. Where do you
Yeah,
want
just
to?
look me up on Facebook, Elliot McDavid, or TikTok. It's going to be Moose McDavid. We invite any LGBT groups, anybody that's non-binary, gay, LGBTQ. No discrimination at all. If your brothers and sisters to us, I mean, we don't, there's no, we're not out to call you down and beat you up. I mean, we love you. We want you to join. We want you to come with us. We want to show the country and the people of the world that what this de facto criminal government is saying is not true.
No.
None of what comes out of their mouth is true. You can call it the exact opposite. Whatever they say, call it the exact opposite. We want you to join. Give us a call. Hashtag Save the Children. Spread the love, guys. Let's make this happen. This could be the turning point for the country. We got a lot of good people on board. There's groups joining steadily. I got 3 or 4 calling me now, and Indigo, she's got a bunch of groups, and she's a lovely lady. Raven's her name. She's the one that did the jerry can thing in Ottawa. She's from Newfoundland. Great lady.
Awesome.
And a gentleman from Truckers for Kids, Canadian Truckers for Kids. And there's another lady called me today, and she just got a business license and stuff, and she's starting a nonprofit, and they're willing to support us. And I mean, and any support we do get, guys, there really is going to be total transparency. We're not there for the money. We just need, we need to roll. We need to make this happen. I sold a lot of shit I got to make to fund what I do now, but I mean, it's time if we're going to do something like this, guys, we need your help. And
So we're gonna have some trucks coming from the east,
Victoria,
and then there's some from the west, and then everyone's.
and the location and date will be probably within a week or two. We'll put it on the poster. We'll put the location and date, and we'll get things happening. Let's wake this country up again, guys, and get things rolling. There's a lot of interest in it. A lot of people are getting some hope right now, and they're thinking, finally, we're doing something again. And I think a lot of people think convoys are not the way to go right now. But this is not just an ordinary convoy. Look what the convoy did last time.
Woke up the world.
You know what I mean? Woke up the world.
Woke up the world.
And I think this one, if you got a heart, you're going to care for children, and that's what's going to make the difference.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Is that Project Indigo, somebody asked?
Yeah, Project Indigo, yeah. Raven's her name, beautiful lady. She's on board. She's on board. She's thrilled to be a part of the convoy group. So we're gonna do posters with shout outs to all the groups too. We'll make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Dozer, what do you want to say?
Tell your boss. With something happened with
31,000 students.
33,000 students walked out of 90,000 students. I mean, things are happening, guys, in the country. So let's just amp it up. And just because that stuff's happening doesn't mean we gotta lay down. Let's amp it up. We gotta keep it going, guys, peacefully. Happy.
Happy. Okay, well, we're gonna wrap it up. This has been such a beautiful night. We never know sometimes what we get usually on our show. Of course, we had a little bit of audio problems earlier tonight, but anyways, we want to direct people to capprincgeorge.ca and get in there, volunteer, just get in there, and you know what, I think we all wear our hearts on our sleeves here. I think everybody that's up here right now.
Yeah.
And we're all going to stand up for the children, and we're going to have a great weekend this weekend. Aren't we? Jolly Pajolly behind the computer over there. I'm Lucky Luciano. We love you. This is the group. This is my familia right here. Right here. Familia, everybody. That's how it is. So number 12. Right on. I love everyone, you guys. Stay tuned. We'll see you on number lucky 13. Anyways, if you want some shirts, get a hold of me. We're gonna get 70 shirts printed up like this. Here we go. Love every single one of you. PG Real News. Thank you very much for making us a success. You find us on all 5 platforms. We love you. Take care. Lucky Luciano. Everyone else. Sharon. Yes, it's a Sharon. Come on up, Sharon. Are you going to sing? What are we going to do here?
Oh, we're going to sing. Are you going to karaoke going on today?
We're going to karaoke going right next.
I just want to thank this lovely lady for standing beside me, man. She's been a real trooper. Like we were talking about earlier, the women in our group in Grand Prairie are effing amazing, man. And, in a lot of ways, they're stronger than, they're out there more than the men are, man. Because, you know, I'm telling you right now, we gotta wake the men up, get the men, leave your job for a month, week, 2 weeks, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Support
You ain't gonna have shit.
your
If you don't stand up, I'll tell you that right now.
Shout out to my wife, Laurel, she couldn't be here today. A lot of work going on in Alberta with the government and lawyers. Love you, Laurel. Wish you were here, baby.
Thanks, man, love you all.
Beautiful, you guys. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. Thank you, the crowd. The only podcast that puts shows with a live audience. We got a liquor license. We're at Club 1177. Love every one of you guys. Take care. We're gonna do some karaoke tonight.
Yeah!
Your children.